Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. What's popping, guys? Welcome to ZeerTalks and welcome to the match preview for Al Hilal ضد Ahli again, but this time in a Champions League situation here. We played them in the AFC Champions League Elite semi-final after we beat Guangzhou 7-0, which was a very good performance, to be fair, but I have to say Guangzhou were not good enough. But now we're actually gonna for real face a test. And all due respect to Guangzhou and all the other Asian teams, because there's only one, or not Asian, because we're all Asian, East Asian teams. I apologize. Because there's only one East Asian team that made the semi-final, and they haven't beaten a Saudi team. They beat a Qatari team. Hold that, El Said, you fraud. But anyway, yeah, they beat they lost to El Said. They lost to who did they lose to? They lost to, bro. Imagine, even I didn't keep up with the rest of the games. Actually, they played yesterday. Why don't I just go check through yesterday's games? But they played against Kawasaki Frontale. They won 3-2 actually. Interesting. Do they have anyone interesting in that team? That I know at least. No, but they have some Brazilian name, Marcinho, and he scored. Did he assist as well? Interesting. But yeah, they beat El Said. Hold that, El Said, you bozos. But yeah, listen. Yeah, they're the only ones, and they're playing against Al Nassr after winning 4-1 against Yokohama, which was actually a pretty good display from them. I actually saw their highlights. They look pretty good. I'm not even going to lie. Comfortable for them, and I thought Yokohama could have given them a go. But yet again, I should have known better when I seen that Yokohama in their league ain't doing the best. But here we are. Now, in terms of us against Al Ahli, they beat some Thai team, which I can't even pronounce their name. In all due respect, I actually can't pronounce it. How do I even pronounce their name, bro? They're called Buriram United. Yo, AN Sports, you live in Thailand, brother. If you watch this video, please tell me how you pronounce it, because I don't know how, and I apologize. But listen, we play against them. They won 3-0. Also looked pretty good as well. This competition seems to be dominated by the Saudi teams, because all the three Saudi teams have made it this far. So yeah, man, it is what it is, bro. So we're gonna have a all Saudi semi-final, which means there's going to be a Saudi team in the final. Now, talking about the Saudi teams that are playing Al Hilal and Al Ahli. Now, we won 7-0 against Guangzhou. They won 3-0 against Buriram, I already mentioned. Last time we played them, they beat us 3-2 at Stade Al Mamlaka, Kingdom Arena. And the game beforehand, we won 2-1 at their ground. And it was actually the same ground we're going to play in tomorrow, inshallah. In Al Johra, I believe so. We play, in Al Johra. Yep, we're playing in Al Johra. So, listen, this is going to be a very interesting one for me. Now, my question is this. Are we going to be so open defensively that they're going to hit us on the break? Because let's be honest, if there's one thing or one negative I can take away from that 7-0 game, and not just from the 7-0 game, from the Mawsum بشكل عام, or I should say in English, the whole season as a whole, in general, is our defense is very leaky. It is very leaky, guys. And last game, if it wasn't for Bono, and if it wasn't for some of their forwards missing, Guangzhou, we could have actually conceded some goals. Who knows if it changes the tone of the game or it doesn't. But, hey, we got away with it, in my opinion. Like when Rice had a chance and all the other, and I believe also that Korean player who came on, forgot his name. Apologies. But, yeah, it's just one of them ones in which, against Al Ahli, we're going to be playing against Galeno, Mahraz, and Ivan Toney. You know what I'm saying? That this is the thing we need to deep. And we're going to have the likes of Gabri Vega trying to create the opportunities. Now, speaking of those guys, I actually want to tell you guys who's available for both sides, especially from the foreign aspect. So So for us, we're only missing Cancelo. He injured himself last game. YHV. Wish him the best speedy recovery possible. So yeah, we have Mitrovic, Leonardo, Kyle Cesar, Malcolm, Savic, who I thought had an unreal game. Him and Leonardo. Nives, who always has a good game or an unreal game. Lodi, who I thought was suspect, and this is what I'm talking about, and I'll get to that. Koulibaly, Bono, who saved us in the beginning a little bit. Then for them, they have Mendy, who's gettable. Ibanez and Demiral, gettable, but they have their good games as well. They're hit and miss. They have Matteo Dams, who, to be fair, has been pretty good this year. I'm not even going to lie to you. He's done his job since coming in. They have some guy named Alioski. They have Alexander Christian. No, nothing. No, you know what I mean? Roberto Firmino, who's barely been used because of obviously the fact they're looking to get rid of him. Let's be honest. Firmino's going to be gone this summer. I'm pretty sure. Ivan Toney, Riyad Mahrez, Galeno, Vega, and Frank Kessie. Well, I actually think Kessie has been unreal for Ahli since joining them to begin with. I think he's been one of their better players. Here's the thing. I just feel like with Al Ahli under Yasley, now Al Ahli are one of those teams that can bottle the game. We can all agree on that. They're that type of team. Anyone that follows the Saudi League, they will know Al Ahli is that type of team that can play good football. But when the time gets going, or when the tough gets going, or whatever the fuck it's called, right? When the time is there for them to turn up, they choke. That's the type of team Al Ahli are. They're like what it's you know what Al Ahli is like? Al Ahli is like an Arsenal in general. They're the type of team they'll do so good throughout. When the time is there for them to do something, they're ghosted, they're invisible. Yeah, that's what they usually are. Now, I have to be careful what I say here because they did beat us before this season. And I'm going to try to give them an element of respect while previewing this game, even though I just mentioned what I just mentioned there in terms of what they usually are. So, yeah, listen. What do I think Jesus needs to do before I play the lineup? Obviously, pick the right 11. I'm going to sound like a broken record for saying that so many times. But I feel like when we approach Al Ahli, we're going to have to kill off our chances. We're going to have to take the chances. When the opportunity comes, ناخذه ونخلص العشاء. Finish the dinner. Because if we don't do that, they will hit us on the other side and score. That's exactly what they're going to do. So, yeah, because I feel like we're going to have the ball majority of the time. Not majority. I think actually it could be end-to-end, to be fair, because both of us like to attack. But somebody's going to sit deep, and I feel like they're more likely team to sit a bit deeper than we are. So, it's just we have to take our chances, man. Be more creative and take our chances. We do that, we're in the final. We don't do that, and we end up being like last season in which we got eliminated by Al Ain, and we don't make that final. And listen, I've said what I've said about Jesus, man. I even call him, even though what he did last season was remarkable, but this season, bro, he be moving like Jabba the Hutt. You know, Jabba the Hutt, right? But listen, tomorrow, it's one of our bigger games of the season. It really is. Bukra, inshallah, that is what it is. And we need this energy from Al Jamahir. And we need the because Al Ahli are gonna give the energy, bro. Their fan base is, when it comes to support at least, and like when it comes to like atmosphere, one of the best in Saudi. It just is. Let's keep it a stack. But we need to show as much energy tomorrow. We have to, lazim. Yani, like it's a ضروري type situation, because if we don't do it and they do it, now the momentum is going to be in their side. So we have to try to put the momentum on our favor as much as we can. But in terms of the players and manager, because we're not enough, let's be honest, we're not enough. ما يكفي بس حنا نسوي أي شيء. لا هم كمان, they have to do something. These guys need to actually do their first, obviously perform their guts out, pause, but also like be creative, unique, create chances, score chances, you know what I mean? Catch them off guard when they fall off, because there are going to be phases in the game when they fall off. Take advantage of them. And yeah, from there, See what happens. But guys, listen. I'm gonna just quickly get to the lineups. And yeah, listen. Before I do, I say this quickly. Despite what I've said about that manager, if there's any sort of saving grace for him, not like there is from me regardless, but it's winning that Champions League title. Because that's all the Hilal fans and the Rabin and the Raisin has ever talked about. Fahd bin Nafil and you know what I mean? That's all they've been talking about. They've been talking about this tournament. Okay, then. If you're talking about this tournament, surely you have to go win it then, right? So if you don't win it, surely he's gone, right? I'm just saying. Anyway, let me show the lineups. So, guys, listen. This is the lineup we need to go with. Now, it's similar to last game that he actually did play. The only difference is Shahrani is here. Now, why is Shahrani here? Shahrani is here because Cancelo got injured. Now, I'm sorry, in a game of this magnitude, in which I know, listen, guy, I don't really rate Galeno like a lot of people do, but Galeno could still do somewhat of something. And I just need somebody that's quite more defensively sound, even though, let's be honest, he also pushes forward. But I feel like he knows himself and the team's positioning and the surroundings more than Hamad Diami does. So that's why I would play Shahrani. I feel like Shahrani provides an element of experience that we do need. And that's why I'm playing him there in the position of Cancelo while he's out. So, yeah. Otherwise, they're all the same. I mean, even though I didn't put Leonardo in my last preview, but when he did play, I thought he was one of our best players. Aqsim billah al-azim, no joke, I thought he was one of our best players. So, I would rate him more in the middle than on the right. But even him on the right wasn't that bad. So, I just feel like keep this. And if it doesn't work, then maybe if, let's say, Leonardo don't perform, you sub him off. Or if Mitro don't perform, you sub him off and put Leonardo in the striker position, Malcolm in the 10, you bring Kyle Cesar on. I just feel like Kyle Cesar, even though I rate him, he's not been performing recently. I'll be honest with y'all. He needs to work on a few things. And in a game like this, I'm not here trying to be thinking about, he needs to work on that. I need somebody, them that are ready to cook up now. So, yeah, that's why I'm playing this lineup. But it's pretty much the same. Koulibaly, Timbuktu, Lodi. I have to say though, Lodi needs to be more sound in his position. By the way, last game it was the other way around. Last game it was Koulibaly this side. Let me change that. I don't know why I always do it the other way, but Timbuktu can play left center back, and he has been in the beginning of stages of his time at Al Hilal, and even when he was at Shabab, I believe. Yeah, so, yeah, listen. That's what I'll do, man. That's exactly what I'll do. Play this, but like Koulibaly needs to be more careful when it comes to committing because he commits too quick. He needs to stop doing that. Lodi, I know he does pretty good on the ball and he's creative as well, to be fair to him, but needs to be also careful because when we lose the ball, his side is exposed. And then on top of the fact he's also overcommitting, that's going to be dangerous against a Riyad Mahrez or a Vega or you know what I mean? So let's be careful with that, guys. Let's be very, very careful, man. Like, seriously. Of Savage, I just hope he keeps on going. Neves, obviously, I trust that he'll keep on going. I hope he keeps on going. Mitrovic, by the way, done pretty good winning the ball and being in position. He even scored. He made 2 assists too. Fair play to him, you know. Salam is well done, all right, hitting the bricks. Although, listen, I hope he doesn't have one of them games in which he falls off all of a sudden, because he can be that type of guy in which sometimes he misses. You know what I mean? By the way, he had some chances he could have scored himself. So, yeah. And Malcolm, I hope he performs still on the right hand side. But yeah, guys, listen, that's my thoughts on it. Now, what do I think is gonna happen, man? Because I also have to keep in mind Al Ahli have done all right this season, man. Tony's gonna be dangerous too. Because remember, Tony's gonna drop deep. And even though I think these type of strikers need to be in the box more, but like a guy like Mahrez can take advantage. A guy, maybe even Galeno at times, even though I don't really rate him that highly, but against a team that pushes up the way we do, these things you have to keep in mind, guys. Like, even if you don't rate someone that highly, they can still do something in a moment. You know what I mean? But I find interesting looking at the Ahli's lineup. They played Alioski last game. They played Alioski left back. So if he plays, could Malcolm have something to cook with here? Let's see. But yeah, listen, Kessie, Jehni. They played Roberto Firmino last game, by the way. They played Mahrez, Firmino, Galeno, and Tony. So they didn't even play Gabri Vega. What if they play Gabri Vega this time around as a starting player? I want y'all to keep something in mind. Listen, Firmino, and I actually think if Roberto Firmino starts, I don't think he cooks up against Al Hilal. I think something that can play into our advantage is Firmino playing, because yeah, he's good on the ball, but let's be honest, man. Firmino is one of them type of guys that positionally is off. So if Milinkovic Savic or a Neves or a Koulibaly or a Timbuktu can mark him out of the game, why not he does something? I mean, I'm always sorry. I mentioned earlier in the video about Rice chance. It wasn't Rice chance because Rice was marked out by Timbuktu. I apologize. It was Asani, Jasser Asani, who was having the chances that Bono say. I apologize. So, like, again, the positions that Asani was in, that could be Mahrez if we're not careful. But Rice, when he got marked out, that could be a Firmino or maybe a Tony. I doubt, because Tony's very good physically as well. Let's be honest. Tony's very good physically. Bro, I'm not going to lie. This is a tough one to call. But if there's one thing I'll tell y'all, Al Ahli are the type of team to choke. And by the way, keep in mind, they're not that experienced in this competition. They're really not. I don't know. Is it their first time in this competition? I don't think it is their first time at all. But they don't make too many of these later stages of the competition. So, like, it's usually us. It's usually us and Nasr here and there, maybe. But I mean, Al-Ahli, I don't think they make it many times, really. You know what I'll say? I'm going to say it's going to be a tough game, because let's be honest, the quality of players for both teams is there. I'm not going to deny this. However, if I'm being honest, I feel like the heritage is in our favor. And because the heritage is in our favor, I think you know what, bro? So be it. Listen, I'm gonna go 3-2 Al Hilal, bro. I won't be shocked if we will draw and go to pens, extra time pens, or if we lose. But one thing I can say is this game is going to be tight. It really will be tight. It will be down to fine margins. And I feel like Al Ahli, when it matters, they'll choke somewhere and then we'll somehow take it. Bro, by the way, in that 3-2 game we lost, they almost choked that game, but Tony came in clutch. Now, will he come in clutch again? I don't know. So it depends, man. It really depends. So I'll just say 3-2 Al Hilal. But yeah, let's see where it takes us, man. But guys, listen, I'm going to end it here. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment sections down below. Predictions, all that stuff. And I'm going to bounce now. Yallah. Guys, you know what to do. Subscribe. Press the alarm bell for future content notifications. Like, comment your way. Go check ZeerTalks socials, and inshallah, you're well wherever you may be. And I will do a watch on tomorrow, inshallah. Also, guys, keep in mind, I'm close to getting 800 subs, so sub your way, guys. Sub your way. Anyway, I'm going to bounce. Yallah, shufkum ala khair. See you guys.